I wish the clouds were here to stay, staring at my feet again, without a word to say.
Hey everyone, this is Pete with another video in my series of 30 plus that I'm making to promote the album Silhouette, Dafni's songs performed by her friends. An album that I co-produced with Alfonso Rodenas in tribute to my late wife, Dafni Amirsakis, who passed away in May 2016. I'm standing outside the apartment complex where we used to live. It's on Federal Avenue in West Los Angeles, Sawtelle area. We lived here together for 15 years. We moved in on the 1st of June 2001, and I had previously been living on Barrington Avenue, which is 2 blocks that way. We moved very close to where I was living, and this apartment complex, I had a lot of musical memories from this apartment complex. For a start, Dafni wrote all of her songs in our living room. She recorded her album Red here. She recorded some YouTube videos, including the video for Gloomy Day, the song that I'm going to talk about, Doug's contribution to the album. And we had house concerts here. We hosted 10 house concerts. And she had her rehearsals with her band here, many rehearsals with her band, with pizza and beer as payment. For the band members, not for us. And rehearsals for the Modern Skiffer Quartet also in here. And not once in 15 years did any neighbour complain about the music, even though it got pretty loud, I'm sure, from time to time. When I came to UCLA in March 2000, I was on a 2-year contract, and Dafni and I became a couple, and I'm not an American citizen, so when it got to my 2 years were up, my boss Fraser, he graciously extended my stay for 7 more months. So I left, I think, the end of September 2002 when I left UCLA. And Dafni was supposed to have finished her thesis by then, I think. I don't remember exactly, but she probably, around that time, I think, she wrote up her thesis. We didn't know what our future was together as a couple. And this was kind of just after September 11, so it was a little bit, you weren't sure about visa statuses and things like that. I managed to get a 6-month tourist visa, which took me to, let's say, about March 2003. And then I extended that for 3 months. It took me to about June 2003. That seems about right. And then I thought, well, let me extend it, just keep extending it. But I got denied with my second extension. I was denied. I got a letter saying, please leave the country immediately. You are here illegally, and you're going to get deported. Something like that. I called Dafni up, and she was at the time, she'd already started she was doing her postdoc in the pharmacology department. See the next video in the series, where I talk about that a bit. And she talked to some people. By the time she got home, she'd already said, I spoke to some people and they said, don't worry about it, and they're not going to deport you, and they gave me a number for a lawyer, and I called the lawyer, and she'd did all this stuff. And we had already been talking about, the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, that doesn't sound good. The worst case scenario is that, we can get married, and then I can get a green card through marriage. So when Dafni came home that night, I was cooking. We were cooking like a stir fry or something like that. And I was chopping up all the veggies and things. And Dafni came home, and we were having this discussion like, maybe we'll just get married. It's kind of inevitable. We'll have to get married at some point. And we kind of, the way I remember it is I kind of proposed to her, let's get married. Dafni, on the other hand, has told people that she's the one who proposed to me. I think what happened is we were kind of just discussing it. Well, it's kind of inevitable. We're going to have to get married. We'll that might be the easiest way to solve my problem and stay together. And I think we mutually came to the agreement that probably we should just get married, and we decided, well, let's just get married. It probably doesn't sound very romantic, but I was chopping up the vegetables, and since I didn't have a ring with which to propose to Dafni, I took a mushroom, one of those cremini mushrooms, they're quite big, chopped out the stalk, made like a ring out of it, and put it on Dafni's finger, and asked her to marry me. I think this is kind of a romantic gesture, but we'll see in one of the subsequent videos, maybe a couple of videos from now, that this was not. People kind of frowned upon it, but I thought it was quite charming. Then we took that mushroom. Maybe I made 2 of these mushrooms, one for each of us. Then we just took the mushroom, chopped it up, put it in a stir fry, and ate it. This doesn't sound. I kind of think this is a charming proposal story. Other people think this is like non-traditional. I don't know. It was a spur-of-the-moment decision, and that's what we did. Anyway, that happened here in this apartment, and soon thereafter we got married. I'm going to make a couple of videos about the marriage. The marriage we went through had 2 weddings actually, so I'll talk about those in a couple of upcoming videos. All right, but now I'm going to talk about Doug Newman and his song "Gloomy Day," and for that I'm going to go and move a couple of blocks east of here to the band shell where I think we met Doug Newman, so stay tuned. This is the band shell at the West LA Civic Center, Municipal Center. I'm not exactly sure what this area is called. It's a kind of nice structure where I don't know why they don't use it very much, but bands can play on here. It's got nice acoustics, looks nice. It should be used far more often for like musical, cultural things. But anyway, one thing they did use it for is on Sunday mornings. I believe they still have them here. The West LA Farmers Market. It opened up around about. I can't tell you exactly when it opened up. But I'm going to say around about 2000 and maybe around that time when Dafni and I got married. 2003 maybe. I know. And they'd have musical acts here at the farmers market. And Dafni had met Dennis Sullivan at the bus stop in Westwood. She was taking the bus back home to our apartment from UCLA. And she got talking to this guy at the bus stop, as is her wont, because she was just friendly and talked to everybody. Not like me at all. But she met this guy and was like, I met this guy, and he does the booking at the Westwood farmers market, where we would go when we were at UCLA and get our, some vegetables and flowers and stuff like that. And they always had a jazz band there. So Dafni always wanted to sit in with the jazz band or to play there. And I don't think she ever did play at the Westwood Farmers Market. But the Richard Glazer band used to play there. Richard Glazer, a fantastic jazz pianist. And his band included Mark San Filippo on the drums. And maybe, I'm not sure Geoff was playing at the time, but Geoff Rakness, who became Dafni's bassist, and Mark, who became Dafni's drummer, they used to play with Richard Glazer band there. Then they opened up this farmers market here, and Dafni did play here. Dennis was doing the music, so Dafni played here, and Richard Glazer band played here, and some other musicians from time to time. Excuse the noise, there's a bunch of skateboarders around here. And so that's kind of how she met Richard and Mark and Geoff. She was Miguel Sawaya was playing bass with Richard originally. And then Geoff substituted him for Miguel. Oh, it's a complicated story. Anyway, Dafni would play here. I think around the first time she played here, she met Doug Newman, the guy who's singing the song that this video is all about. So it's a long story, but I'm getting there. And Doug came here. I don't know if he was playing, or if he just came to hang out, listening to music, or if he came to do some shopping at the market or check out the market. But Dafni and Doug became friends. I remember Doug was hosting a songwriter night at the Talking Stick, which was a coffee house on, Ocean Park Boulevard in Venice. And Dafni played there 2 or 3 times, I remember. Doug was a singer-songwriter himself. He did a lot of home recordings. He had like an album he did of songs about cats. And he had one song, not about cats, called the Happy Ants song that Dafni and I both loved a lot. I think she learned how to play that song at one point. And Doug's just been friends. We've just been kind of friends. He lived in the neighbourhood. We kept bumping into him, and he played a few times at the cinema bar too. I think once Dafni started playing there, and we'd invite him to our parties and stuff. Just a nice guy. And when it came to doing the tribute show, Doug chose to do Gloomy Day, which was a song that wasn't on any of Dafni's records at the time, and I'm happy that he picked it because he knew it from a video that Dafni had put on YouTube, which I mentioned earlier, that she recorded in our apartment, where she did the song Gloomy Day, she sang it, and she played acoustic guitar, and she overdubbed electric guitar and mellophonium. I think it's a pretty good video. I think it sounds quite nice. I think we did a good job with the recording and of the video and the audio. And Doug did that song. And actually, Gloomy Day is a song that Dafni thought was the best song that she'd ever written. I think, certainly at the time, and I would say up until at her death, she would have said that was the best song she'd ever written. It's like a beautiful melody. I think she liked it because of the sophistication of the chords. It was kind of a complex one to play up and down the neck, and sophisticated chords, and the lyrics came easy to her, and it tells a nice story. And Dafni would often preface when she played the song how she actually preferred gloomy days. Living in Los Angeles, it's so sunny, as like today, and she actually preferred the gloomy days. She was always happy when it was overcast. And she liked to, I remember she would always say how the fall was her favourite season, and she loved it when it was those kind of fall-like days, the autumn days, where the sky was a bit overcast, maybe it was a bit drizzly, maybe it was a bit cool. She liked that weather. So this was a song about, in praise of the gloomy days, and a song about optimism and hope for the future, I think. Doug recorded this song at Kevin Jarvis's studio with Geoff and Mark accompanying him. I don't think Peter Kavanaugh played on this one. I seem to recall though that it was Doug he kind of did his own arrangement of the song, which I think is great, because I think the best thing for an artist covering another artist's song is just to make it their own. He didn't do it the way Dafni did it in that video, or how Dafni did it in the recording that she ultimately did, which did appear on the EP And If We Say Goodbye, which we released a couple of years ago, recorded by Jeb Lipson. I'll make a video about that. There's going to be several videos in the future. Doug's version is kind of gentle and folky, and he kind of changed the arrangement and the kind of the rhythm of it, and I don't think we got the bass part quite right. And since we were recording it on a day with multi-artists, I think we recorded 5 songs that day at Kevin's studio, we didn't have time to perfect the bass part, so maybe we just thought, well, we'll just have it maybe without bass or just drums. Doug also wanted a horn part on there, and since I knew Sarah Kramer, who did her own song, Complicated, on the album, and she performed with Danny McGough, you might remember from the Danny McGough Angelino video, so I asked her whether she would just play something on the song. And she went to Danny's home, and I think she recorded trumpet and flugelhorn. Sounds wonderful anyway. And Danny put down a bass part. I don't know if Alfonso told him to put down a bass part, but he put down a bass part. Maybe he realised there was no bass and the song needed bass. I don't know. Never actually found out why Danny recorded bass on that one. Anyway, the song sounds great. I think it doesn't sound like any of the other songs on the album because of Doug's kind of gentle, folky style, which doesn't... There are other songs on the record which are done just vocals and guitar, but this one it's kind of got a band feel to it. A bit of horn, gentle, folky kind of sound. I like it. Anyway, hope you do too. And enjoy the song, the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.
Mark, the only thing is I'm going to get a little nervous and maybe start going fast, and I'm worried about going too quick. So if you can just, when you're drum, keep me...
Oh yeah.
We'll have a click track too.
Keep it real steady.
Yeah.
So we'll have a metronome going.
I'm not
plus
used
Mark.
to playing on a click track, but that's fine. You guys are... I haven't recorded enough to know
that's okay.
You know, so I'm relying on
I think
you
you'll
guys
find
to-
it'll be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you'll have the click, and then you have Mark, which
Right.
is even more accurate than most metronomes.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
They named a metronome after.
so let's see again.
They called it San Filippo.
When you go to that G7 and how long you're on it. Is that a 1 bar?
I think I remember hearing her play at the Talking Stick Cafe years ago. I don't know how early that was. I guess maybe 2000 or 2002. I remember a funny thing was about Dafni is I thought she was a Berkeley music grad, and for some reason, and so I just had that conception of her for a long time. I don't know how I got that idea, but she was really good. I mean, she was definitely very good from the start, you know, and that was... She had just one album at that time, the first one, as I recall, and I don't know, it seemed like years later I saw her again, a couple years later. I don't know if you were married to her by then or not. I think you were, but I don't know, I don't remember.
It's around that
But,
time, yeah.
So a bar of G major 7, G dominant, and then a bar of G dominant.
Then, of course, I ran into her at the Cinema Bar Cafe when she was just starting to take off there, and she, you know, she took off, you know. Started writing some great stuff, great albums, you know, and she was very successful there, and it was a nice little run, you know, a genesis of a lot of songwriters and singer-songwriters, and it was she was definitely kind of a center point of all that, you know, and okay, now going into that break that I did on the tape, you know, Daphne's horn part I like a lot, you know, but I like the chorus that I want to do the chorus twice. She was very social, you know. She had a way of gathering friends and getting the ball rolling amongst everybody and being very encouraging and stuff like that, you know. I don't think I was like that, as social as she was, you know, and so, but she had a knack for that, and that was good. Make sure I turn off my phone.
That's right.
That would not be good.
All right.
But Dafni is she wrote across a lot of styles, which I really liked a lot. I mean, she was great lyrically and always progressing on her guitar as the years went over, and that was fun to see too, because she was always good, you know. But she got better, and that was fun to see too, because it wasn't like she was a real slick pro all the time. You know, there's a human element to it, which was nice, you know. And I think people could probably relate to that, you know. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Let's give it a try.
One more time, Mark. Let me try it again. I'm gonna try and. I just about got it. I think I know what we're doing here now.
It was going much better now, eh?
And of course, the interesting thing about Dafni is that she was a chemist, and she was this brilliant chemist that was a folk songwriter, and so that was a unique thing. Maybe that's why I thought she was a Berkeley music gal. Staring at my future without a word to say. Sometimes I wish that I could drive away to a place where I could What she's done, it's really turned out well in the recording, you know. I mean, very nice, her guitar, and finger style and rhythmic, you know, and everything like that. It's just been really nice. I liked that she took up the banjo and started playing the banjo. I thought that was cute. She did very well too. What did she place at the? Did she place third or something?
She came second in the beginner banjo Topanga banjo festival.
Yeah, and I entered too, and I came in third in the beginner. I think, or was it second or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
The year after she did too, I came in third too.
Cool.
So she whooped me.
She had a bit of a head start on the other kids who were in the band.
Right, so did I.
She already was like
So
an
did I.
expert finger picker, you know. It
Yeah.
wasn't quite a beginner.
Well, the story for me years ago is that I wanted to be a banjo player. I tried my hardest to be a banjo player, but my fingers are just a little too bent up from playing sports as a kid to be a slick player, you know.
Yeah.
So I can only play so well, it seems like. And maybe that's what I'm a little envious of Dafni, is I can hear how she could, if she really wanted to, she could be really good, and I can only get to a certain level kind of thing, it seems like.
Good. Let's try it again.
Okay.
Don't rush. Just take it easy,
Okay.
relax.
Okay.
Follow the. You're tending to run.
Okay.
Don't be in a hurry to finish.
Okay.
It's sounding very beautiful.
Okay.
Here we go again, guys.
I think I just need to work on playing the guitar rather than singing. Just do the guitar and everything, and then we'll, you know, do the vocals.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Well, I just thought it was kind of a fun song. I liked the fact that Dafni picked up the mellophonium and played it, you know, and she did well, you know. And I guess the story of that is, how did she get to be so good on the mellophonium so quick, you know, kind of thing. But Peter told me later that she was a horn player back in, what was it,
French horn.
French horn, yeah.
High
The
school.
mellophonium is kind of like a French horn.
Yeah.
So back in school, so she's had some horn playing in the past, so I guess that explains that. But the mellophonium really sounds cool on the recording she did on YouTube, and I like the way she did it a lot. The tone of the tune and the video is really cool the way she did it. I like it a lot.
Trail long and wide out in the countryside, where I could hide among the trees. Gloomy day, my feet are dragging and I think I know why. I could worry and I could cry, but perhaps that's all a waste of time. Somewhere way up high, where I could touch the sky and toss my troubles out into the sea.
She hadn't recorded on any of the other albums, you know, so I thought, well, I'll try it, you know. And in my recording of it, it just wasn't sounding right for me or something, like the vocal. I don't know, something about the quality of Dafni's voice. It worked fine for how she was doing it. I liked the tone of the song, everything about it, but and I was having trouble playing the chords, jazz chords, like she played them and making them sound right, so I just ended up with my own stuff, and I said, well, I got to go with that kind of thing. So I do like my arrangement of it and everything, and it's interesting playing in the studio with the drums and everything like that, how it turns out differently than playing just on your vocal and guitar. So it's neat how it does sound like that. It's interesting. I haven't recorded in the studio enough with a band to hear how that sounds.
I love overcast days. Do you like it when it's kind of cloudy? Some days they match your mood, right?
Apparently not.
So this song is about that. Gloomy day. Sometimes I wish the clouds were here to stay. Staring at my feet again without a word to say. Gloomy day. Sometimes I wish that I could drive away to a place where I could disappear for a while. Somewhere way up high, where I could touch the sky and toss my troubles out into the sea. Trail long and wide out in the countryside, where I could hide among the trees. Gloomy day, my feet are dragging and I think I know why. I've been worrying I could cry, but perhaps it's all a waste of time.
All I can say is, if you like my recording, check out Dafni's version 2 on YouTube. Did she ever record it in a studio for an album?
She did, yeah. That's still going to come out.
Oh, good.
She
good.
finished all her parts, so
good.
we just have to do a little bit of keyboard stuff, I think, backing vocals.
Okay. With the
that should
band,
come out pretty soon. Yeah, with Geoff and Mark. And,
good.
disappear for a while. Somewhere way up high, where I could touch the sky and toss my troubles out into the sea. A trail long and wide out in the countryside, where I could hide among the trees. Gloomy day, my feet are dragging and I think I know why. I could worry and I could cry, but perhaps that's all a waste of time. Touch the sky and toss my troubles out into the sea. Gloomy day, maybe it's time that I walk away. Maybe it's time for something new. Maybe it's time I stop feeling so blue. So blue.
She was always so positive and encouraging. I think that's something a lot of other people have said too, but she could kind of tell where you were at in your life and stuff like that, which is a little unnerving too, because she could kind of read you, and so it was nice too, because she was always encouraging in that regards, and not, just a really, you couldn't put much past her. She was really smart. Bright, really bright woman, and she was nice to have in the neighborhood. We all lived in the same neighborhood there in West LA for a while, so it's nice to know that we were all kind of in the same bailiwick there, in the same atmosphere for a while. So, and it was always nice to be invited to the parties and everything like that, and to be able to come there, and it's just a really nice social gathering in that little apartment there, and really nice times,
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how Dafni was. She was kind of she brought a lot of people together like that, so it's a good thing.
We should try to rehearse and play the song till you feel comfortable and everybody knows the song, and we have played the whole thing through several times, you know what I mean? We are not such in a hurry that having to do okay, let's record it, just not knowing why don't we just practice
Right.
through the thing, right?
Let's try how about just me and Mark on drum, see if we can get our thing together first, so I don't hear too much. Okay. Okay, one time from the top, Mark. I'm having I got a hum in my head so I can keep track of where I'm going. It's new to me. I'm sorry. Okay. Sometimes I wish the clouds were here to stay, staring at my feet again, without a word to say. Gloomy day, gloomy day. Sometimes I wish that I could drive away to a place where I could disappear for a while. Somewhere way up high, where I could touch the sky, throw my troubles out to the sea. A trail long and wide, way out in the countryside, where I could hide among the trees. Gloomy day, gloomy day. My feet are dragging and I think I know why. I could worry and I could cry, but perhaps that's all just a waste of time. Waste of time. That I walk away. Maybe it's time for something new. Maybe it's time I stop feeling so blue. So blue. So blue. I start feeling so
That's it?
Yeah, okay, on the end there, Mark, he didn't know it was the end because he couldn't hear what I was doing, but